question. What differentiates growth from value is the tech sector. What differentiates large from small cap in the US? Tech. What differentiates international from US in terms of sector composition of most of the averages? It's tech. So isn't this really more a story of if you're going to bet on international, you're maybe betting against tech being the leader from a cycle perspective?
Yeah, so you can go and adjust the three main contributors, country, sector, stock, and you can adjust those over time and say, hey, let's adjust so that Europe or emerging markets have a similar tech exposure to the US. And what you find is there is an influence, but it's not just that, right? So you get kind of baby with bathwater situation where, so for example, everyone loves buying the NASDAQ, the Qs. And you often ask investors, and they say, yeah, it's a tech index. You say, well, no, it's not. It's just an exchange that happens to have a lot of tech companies. But if you look at the top 20, 30 companies, they're not necessarily tech companies. So you get stuff like Costco, that's now got a pretty high PE ratio that's been pulled up just by being in the Qs because people think it's a tech index. Another example would be, we have a emerging market shareholder yield ETF, EYLD, and that fund for, our US version has very little tech exposure. Not surprising. It's value strategy. But in the emerging market shareholder yield fund, one of the largest exposures the last handful of years has been tech. It's usually one or two. So it's not just a story necessarily of location. I think it's opportunity. The tech companies in the US, there's no question they've done amazing, but also there's no question that many of them are very expensive. One, two, a lot of the tech companies don't have the best corporate governance.